Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. I'm here in my plant room and I have all my tropical trees in. It's been a long journey. Let's go back in time and I'll show you all the steps I went through to get the trees finally from my outdoor greenhouse into the plant room. So here we go. It's December the 2nd today. Looks like we're in for a nice sunny day. That'll be nice working in the plant room with the sun shining in the windows. My strategy for today, which has changed slightly, is I'm going to try and get that table set up by the windows. So to do that, I've got to finish the roof above it, insulate the wall out front here on the inside, put up my vapor barrier. So just getting this front end of the room finished, and then I can work on that back part later. So it's getting really cold out and I just don't want to leave the plants out in the greenhouse much longer. So I think my priority will be to get that table set up and get some tropical trees inside. I've got a lot of icicles up on top of the plant room and it's not even heated, so I don't know why there's so much melting going on up there, but for some reason I'm getting tons of icicles. My forsythia bush out front here looks pretty nice in the sun. It's just amazing looking at all the snow on it. So beautiful. How can you not like winter? There's chickadees in the bush. My wife and I were heading out to get some groceries and there was a tree in the front garden here that was tipped over. She said, "Is that a branch?" And I said, "No, that's a tree." And she says, "Why is it on an angle like that?" I said, "I don't know." So I grabbed the tree and I picked it up and it had no roots on it. And if you look underneath here, you'll see that some kind of mole or something has eaten the roots and the tree just tipped over. I have never seen anything like that in my life. So there you are. That's a fairly old tree in the front garden here. It's as old as any of these other ones. It just tipped over. So I hope that doesn't happen to any of the other ones in here. The porch out here is getting quite crowded. I had to move everything out of the plant room into here because I'm put the insulation in. So here's a view. So all the walls are insulated. The sun is about to set on the end of another day and we'll get back to work on it tomorrow morning doing the vapor barrier. It is Thursday today, so we're not heading to the orchard today to work in the orchard because of all the snow outside. So instead we're meeting at the local in the greenhouse, social distancing, wearing masks, and we're going to discuss, the future of the orchard, what work we have to do, the pump house, ordering trees for next year, education, learning about trees and how to prune them and how to grow our edible forest. So yeah, there's lots to discuss over the winter and that's what we're going to be doing now. So I'm off to the local. It's Friday today and I'm hoping to get the insulation up in the roof, or at least part of it, and some vapor barrier up so I can start setting my table up on the inside of the room. But first I have to go in the backyard here and get my trees in the greenhouse watered. It's been a couple of days since I've gone into the greenhouse. You have to really watch with the greenhouses that the door doesn't get blocked with ice and snow, otherwise you can't get in, especially if your door swings outwards like it does in this one. If your door swings inward, it's no problem, but
yeah, I've got to make sure I clear this every day so I can get in and water the trees. If that all freezes solid, I'm in big trouble. I'd have to get something to melt the snow and, you know, really take a long time to clean it all. So yeah, I'm going to open the greenhouse up now. It's a beautiful snowy day today. Amazing outside. Yeah, open the greenhouse up, get everything watered, and if all goes well today, I might even be able to bring some trees from the greenhouse into the plant room. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Kind of a different look for the Austrian pine today. It's just got fluffy snow on it. Looks really nice, actually. Yeah, I guess the heavy snow must have fallen off. I can see a big chunk over here. Several of the other trees still have snow on them. The thuja here. Let's have a look at the Scots pine. It's definitely got that tilted look to it. And here's the larch forest. Yeah, still got some heavy snow on top. I don't worry about the snow breaking branches because if you have a branch that's that delicate with that much foliage on it, then it would break in nature too. So it kind of, you know, might help with the styling of the tree a bit. I very rarely do get branches breaking from the load of the snow. Usually they, you know, flex down and, or they're strong enough to survive the snow. Yeah, quite a snowy day out here today. Everything's looking good in the basement here. The new grow light is doing really well. The tree looks really happy underneath it. Nice and green, and yeah, I think it likes that. So I got to turn on my main lights here today, turn the heater on in the plant room, and get my day going. The temperature in the basement today is 6.6 degrees Celsius and 48% humidity. So a little cooler. All right, in the plant room, everything's looking good in here. I've been watching for drips and I haven't seen any, which is good. I don't expect any, but I'm just so paranoid about getting leaks in this room again. So yeah, I'll get the heater on. There we go. Get this room warming up a bit. And yeah, today I'm going to try and get some insulation up in the ceiling. And I got my roll of vapor barrier over here. Right here. That I can put up. And I also got construction cement. Or not... Yeah, construction glue. And that... I'm going to apply it on all these 2x4s to seal these panels in so they're airtight. I think that's really going to help. That way there's no humidity from the plant room that can get into the walls. I think, yeah, I've watched several videos on YouTube, and yeah, a lot of people seal their vapor barrier in with that construction adhesive. You use it like a caulking gun and put it on and press your vapor barrier on, staple it in place, making sure all your holes are sealed. Yeah, so I better get to work. So I got some insulation up in the ceiling, and I was looking at the weather forecast and it doesn't look good. We've got -6 or 7 degrees Celsius tonight, a little bit colder the next night, and then it just, I looked at the 14-day weather forecast and it doesn't really warm up. It's going to be a cool December, I think. So I've got to change my plans. I have to get the trees in from the greenhouse outside today. I don't know if it can hold, you know, enough heat in there at -7 degrees. And it doesn't get very warm in the daytime either. So today I'm going to have to get my vapor barrier up, finish off putting the insulation in, and I don't know if I'll get time to build my attic up here this year. It may have to wait until the summer. I can always, you know, take it back down, the insulation, and build my little cold attic up there and vent it. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get the interior of this room finished. I've just got to get the insulation in and put the vapor barrier up. And I think that'll be it for this year, and then get the trees in today. So I've got a lot of work to do today, but I've got a new bag of insulation. I checked the old insulation and there wasn't a lot of good pieces, and the pieces that were in good shape, they were at the bottom of the pile and they're all squished and kind of wet. And you can see the one up here was a little bit squished and it doesn't fit in between the roof beams very well. It kind of sags. So I didn't use any of the other stuff. I got it free from, it was left over from someone else's project, and I kept it out. I knew I was going to have to redo this roof in the plant room, so I kept that insulation in the bags and I put them outside under a tarp, and yeah, it didn't go well. I think, yeah. So that's what I'll be doing today. Lots of insulating and putting vapor barrier up. It is 1:30 in the afternoon now. I'm starting to lay out my vapor barrier. I've got a lot of the roof insulated. You can see it up here. I can't reach the back of the room until I get the table in position out front here. So that's why I'm cutting the vapor barrier that I can stick along all the lower part of the wall here. And yeah, then I can move my table in place. I'll have to put vapor barrier up above on the ceiling. That'll help hold the insulation in place. The new insulation stays up there really nicely. The older stuff, that's compressed a bit. And you can see it sagging a bit here. So you don't want that dropping down on your plant. So yeah, the vapor barrier will help hold that in place. And then I can move the table out here with my new cement blocks as legs that are out there. And then move the trees in. I don't know. Yeah, it's supposed to get down to -6 or 7 tonight, so I don't know. I could leave them out one more night maybe. I don't know. It's getting down in temperature, so it's getting to the point where it's getting quite worrisome. But yeah, it's making progress. It's certainly insulating this room well. It'll be like putting a winter coat on the room, keeping it nice and warm inside. So I'll keep working away, getting my vapor barrier up, and yeah, working towards getting plants in this room. I've got my first bit of vapor barrier up. So here it is here, and I used the construction adhesive, and I went around all the wooden beams and posts in the wall. So it's all sealed in nicely, and then I stuck it down. At first I stapled it in place up here, and then I lifted it up and then put all my glue on and then lowered it back down. So that worked pretty good. So it should be nice and sealed as long as this glue sticks. It might come away in some places, I don't know, but it's sticking pretty good for most of the parts. And I'll just keep going over it, make sure it's stuck down. It's pretty strong glue, so yeah, so that'll help, you know, seal the walls against any water vapor getting into it and contributing to it rotting out. It's getting late in the afternoon. I've got all the vapor barrier down around the bottom of the windows up to there, and I've got my piece up here, and I had to do some foaming in the corner here. There was a space there that I had to fill in. And I've been foaming around. I found a few leaks. Well, they weren't leaks, but just I could feel a bit of air blowing in through somewhere. Just some where the insulation didn't sit against the beam quite right. I don't know. Maybe I'm being silly, but I just wanted it sealed up so when I put my hand up here, I can't feel any cool air. So yeah, so I'm just letting that foam dry for a bit, and then I'll trim it away with the knife, and I can finish putting the vapor barrier down here and up here, and that'll get this area other than the roof ready for putting the table in. I looked at the weather again, -6 degrees Celsius tonight. It's gone through -5 before, and maybe -6 some nights, so I think they'll be okay for one more day. tomorrow, the high was -4 today, and tomorrow the high is -1 and the low gets lower. It goes down to -7. So yeah, it's risky, but I think the plants are going to have to stay outside for one more day because I just don't think I'll get this done. It starts getting dark at 4:30 here now. We're getting close to the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year, or the shortest day of the year, I should say. And yeah, I start early in the morning, and then by about 4:30 it starts getting really dark in here. And even with the light on, it's hard to see because I guess I don't have a bright enough light, but I might be able to do some work tonight, but I'll see. It's so hard working here at night. But we'll see. So I'll keep going. I think the trees are definitely going to have to stay in the greenhouse one more night, which is... I'm really pushing my luck. Hi everyone, it is Sunday, December the 6th today. And I am still proceeding, putting vapor barrier up. You can see I just put this panel up. It's sealed tight as a drum. I've got the sealant all the way around, and it's also stapled in around the edges. So that should keep it nice and airtight. So I've done all the same around the bottoms down here. And I've just got this corner to do. I had to foam in underneath this window. It was, that was never done. Not even by the original people who built the room. You can see the old foam in here, but yeah, there's never any foam put in underneath there. So yeah, I had to prepare all these surfaces. I've got a lot of staples and stuff I had to pull out to make them smooth, but that's coming along. So after I finish that last piece, I'll be up here putting vapor barrier on the roof. I don't think that's going to be fun, but we'll see how it goes. I'll staple it to the leading edge up here and then kind of work my way up. So it's 8 feet wide, this vapor barrier. So I'll just, this is, it's doubled up. So this is showing a 4-foot section. So I'll put an 8-foot wide strip up to the top. I'll have to finish putting the insulation in at the very top. To do that, I have to move this table out of the way. So I think, yeah, I think once I finish the vapor barrier down here, I can position the table in place and I can use that as a workbench, like something to stand on to do the roof up here. So that should work out okay. And that'll also clear up this area of the room so I can finish putting the insulation in up at the very top of the peak here. And that should be almost it for the insulation. I've got a little narrow strip over here, but maybe stuff some up the wall up there. I pulled a bunch down just to help insulate that a bit. And the rest will be vapor barrier. Lots of fun. So my trees, we had the -6 degrees last night outside, and the trees survived out there quite nicely. I checked the temperature. I went out early this morning before it was, just as the sun was coming up, and it was 10 degrees in there, 10 degrees Celsius. So that's pretty good considering it was -6 degrees outside. Tonight we've got -7 degrees Celsius is the low tonight. And it doesn't warm up in the daytime above freezing. It's staying below freezing now as the daytime high. So cold weather ahead. So yeah, if I get this room completed to the stage where I can bring the plants in today, I will. If not, I could gamble one more night outside. I don't know. -7's starting to get pretty cold outside. But I think, you know, they would probably make it okay. So I'm hoping to get them in today. That's my goal. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep working. I've got my vapor barrier all in place now. So I think I'm ready to put the table in place. So I'm going to put my cement blocks here in the middle and at the end. And I think I'll put the table at an angle. So one of the problems I had was the table was level before and it would kind of pool up in the middle of the table. So I'm going to put a bit of a slant on it, so it slants from the window down towards the floor a bit. So any water on the table will run off into the middle of the room, and I can clean it up, rather than kind of running down the opposite side, which may run down the wall or something. So just to keep it away from the walls. So, yeah, here we go, getting the table put in place. I've got the table in place now. Kind of exciting. I put a 2x4 under the blocks to kind of get a slant on the table. And I didn't think it was enough. I wanted to have a good slope so any water will drain off. And I think that's pretty good. It's quite a severe slope. You can see it compared to the window down here. Yeah, it's a fairly good angle, so I don't want water pooling up on top of the table. I'd rather it run off and, you know, I can collect it underneath here or something. Maybe I need an eaves trough on the edge of my table. That would be cool. And then I could recycle it into a barrel or something there. That might be a good idea. I think I might do that. Just get a little length of eaves trough, put it on the end of the table, and any water that runs off will go in the eaves trough, and I can collect it and recycle it. That would be cool. So I think I'll do that. That's for the future though. For now, I've got to protect the table a bit and put some plastic over it so it's already kind of rotting away. This table, I've been using it for at least 25 years. So it's seen a lot of humidity and water on it. So I may have to reskin the top of it someday. It's the afternoon now, and I'm getting a little bit of sun in the plant room, which is kind of nice. It's quite warm in here now. So I've got part of my ceiling vapor barrier up there. It was hard to do by yourself. It's like trying to stretch a canvas. Yeah, it wasn't easy to do. So I've got to do a strip on this end still and another strip on this end. And I thought I'd make it a manageable piece that I can kind of overlap with the wall a bit to kind of seal it all in properly. I still have some insulation that I'm missing. It's a shame, but I think I'll have to buy another bag of it just to do the small ends here. Yeah, eventually I've got to do in the porch area here. You can see I've started to put the black tar up there, and I've got the insulation in that goes above the wall here. This area, so that seals this room off from the outside air in the hallway, which is kept cooler. Yeah, so I'll get this vapor barrier up in the corners here and over here, and then I'll be ready to bring some trees in. That might be it in this area for now until spring when the trees go outside and I can work on the room again. Yeah, that'll be nice. I'm really looking forward to getting the drywall up in this room. I think it's going to be an awesome looking room in the end. And I don't think I'll have any problems with leaks or anything. I think it'll be a really good room. All right, I'll keep working away at the room, get the trees inside. I doubt they'll all fit on this bench here. I may have to put some benches in the middle here, and I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll get them out of that cold weather for tonight. Yeah, I don't want them out there when it's that cold. It was even kind of risky last night, but I have finished putting the vapor barrier up on the roof. So the vapor barrier, it just stops any moisture from inside the room here hitting the, you know, the cold roof and condensing. So it's like a traps of moisture inside the room here. So it'd be definitely good for humidity in the plant room. So I think other than the table here, which I think I'm just going to put plastic over it for this year, I think I'm ready to bring the plants in. I think I can do everything else, like the vapor barrier here with the plants on the table. And I can build my attic in that. I'll have to take some of this down, but I can build that over the winter if I've got room, depending how many trees I get in here. yeah, I'll just keep working around the trees and that'll be it. It's going to be time to move them in very soon. Well, I am finally ready to bring some of the trees in. I've got a good thick layer of plastic on the table. I still have my plywood underneath it to reinforce it, just so no trees fall through or anything. This vapor barrier up here, you can tape the seams. You have to use greenhouse tape, which is like a clear plastic tape which has a really good adhesive that can withstand UV and high temperatures. Or I found the furnace tape works really well. The high temperature furnace tape, the kind you wrap around ducks. It's like a shiny silver foil tape. Any other tape doesn't work. Regular duct tape or shipping tape, and that just peels off after about 2 or 3 weeks in the heat and humidity. So you definitely need a specialty type tape in a plant room for doing your vapor barrier. Okay, so I am ready to go get my trees. I'll fit as many as I can on the table here. And then I have those shelves from Shirley Simple Shelving that I could set up at the back here to fit more trees in here. So I'll see how it goes. I'll see how many I can fit. And so off to get my very first tree. Very exciting. Well, the trees are starting to come in. It feels really strange carrying tropical trees through all the snow from the greenhouse out there because it's below freezing outside. It just is so strange carrying a tropical tree out in, you know, basically winter. But I don't think it'll hurt them. It's I'm being as quick as I can and as careful as I can bringing them in. So I'll keep going. It's starting to get not dark out, but there's probably going to be half an hour to 45 minutes more light. So I'm hoping to get the rest of them in before it gets dark. So I'll get busy once again. It's starting to get dark out. I got most of the trees moved in. I still have a few in seed trays out there. So here it is, the plant room. You can see they don't all fit on this front bench here. I had to put some on the floor down here. So it's, you know, it's just a small greenhouse, but it's amazing how many trees I fit in it. So I still have to bring the ones from the basement and put them in the plant room. So I think, you know, a big bench over here, maybe a couple of benches or shelves or something, and I can fit them in. I'll get them in somehow. I always do. Yeah, so I got to be careful of my temperature in here. They're coming from, you know, fairly cool temperatures, and I don't want to get it too warm in here yet. I don't want them thinking, oh, it's spring, let's grow. Because, you know, the light is very dark out this time of year. Short days, and it's usually cloudy. And so, yeah, I don't want it to get too warm in this room, so I'll be careful with the heater that I try and control the temperature so it stays kind of, you know, 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. Nothing higher. So I think I'll probably celebrate getting the trees in the plant room by making an actual bonsai video. I think that would be a good way to end all this work building my plant room. That was a long build. I can remember, you know, getting towards the end of summer thinking, oh, how am I going to get this done? I don't know, it seemed like, you know, the end was so far away. And I still have a lot of work to go, but at least the trees are in here, it's warm in here, and it'll do for this year. I can get them through the winter. And next year I'm hoping to get that big greenhouse underway. It won't be really huge, but it'll be, you know, maybe it's going to be a few sections of that big one and just half of it. So it'll be a decent sized greenhouse to fit all my tropical trees in. And the goal for that is to heat it all winter and keep the trees outside in the greenhouse. And I'll have to use a lot of techniques to try and minimize the amount of heat I need to put in the greenhouse. So insulation blankets, I might dig the foundation down into the ground a bit so I get the warmth of the ground in there. Insulate the walls really well, so the double plastic on it. I'll use every technique I can to try and, you know, use as little energy to heat the greenhouse as possible.
So I'm so relieved to get all my tropical trees back in the plant room here for the winter. I can breathe a sigh of relief. A long job, finally finished. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me today in the Bonsai Zone.